Hello, welcome to Chapter 7 and 8 of Healthcare in Diverse Communities. Two pretty short chapters. Now, Chapter 7 is all about assessment and trying to figure out what the current attitudes of people, maybe in your office, coworkers, about cultural competencies, about cultural competence issues. So it gets a little technical in a good way. Some very important concepts of reliability and validity. Now, reliability is basically a tool that gives you the same answer every time. So if you have a scale and it tells you weigh 125 pounds every day, it is reliable. However, if it says you weigh 125 pounds but you actually weigh 130, it's not valid. So validity is being right, reliable is being consistent. Now, there are different types of validity. We talk about face validity. You look at a survey and it looks right. Face validity, face value. Content validity is when several experts look at that tool and say, yes, this looks like it's studying what it's supposed to study. Criterion validity, you don't see as often in our field, but it's predictive. Let's say your high school GPA being predictive of college success versus an ACT being predictive of college success. So those are criterions for validity. And then construct validity is something is measuring what it's supposed to measure. Now, if you want to measure attitudes about different cultural groups, you have to make sure your survey isn't just testing knowledge about cultural groups. So again, trying to write things in a way that is measuring what you want to measure and not something else. And it's important to have a good tool. And so instead of just slapping questions together, make sure you go out, do your research, find when people have used a questionnaire or a tool to gather data that's worked, and then maybe build off of that. Now, Chapter 8 really kind of transitions from Chapter 7, that once you've assessed and tested people and say, oh, okay, now we know what you know about cultural competency, now we can do a training to kind of fill in the blanks or bring you up to speed. Now, there are 3 approaches to training, and you should use all of them in your trainings. And in fact, you should see all of them in education. The first is knowledge-based. Again, trying to build just knowledge. Traditional ways, lecture and reading, things to get ideas and new information to people. The second is attacking their attitude. And so again, how they feel about something. Now, that's often done more with case studies, with your first person accounts, kind of that emotional tug, or something that they can relate to. So something more aimed at their feelings. And then the third one is skills, trying to build different skill sets. Now, in academia, that might be, me assigning a Excel document or PowerPoint, assignment of where you have to learn something new, and you have to get in there with your hands. From a cultural competency standpoint, that can be more like, well, we're going to use a tool to help non-English speakers identify what's wrong with them, or you're going to practice different scenarios and take turns role playing. So again, a way to build skills. Some other things to think about: terms, the glossary, that again, part of that knowledge that you're giving people the information they need. Then there's case studies, like we talked about, again, to help you with attitude. And then, of course, exercises to help build skill. So those are the sort of things you need to include in training and hit people from all different angles. Now, looking at the assignments for Module 5, in Assignment 9, you're going to build a survey in SurveyMonkey. So you're going to go out and find a good tool like we talked about, and then you're going to use those questions to create a survey. And then in Assignment 10, you're going to outline a training that you would do. So you're going to you're not going to go and do the PowerPoints or anything like that, but you're going to kind of tell me what you would do in a training scenario. And then, of course, you're going to have to get together with me and go over the unit. Thank you for watching.